Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for continuing to join me in this little board game journey here. We're still working on the cards. Sort of the last bit, really, before we have to, or before we get to try and just print it out and start play testing it just a little bit, right? And now I see immediately right here. What was I thinking? You can just sneak this in. Like, there's no reason not to purchase this card if it shows up, right? Like, even though it costs 0 VP, there's no decision here to be made. You get this card 100% of the time. And the only time you don't get it, it's like super duper hyper late game. But if you got one power left over, there's no reason to let it go to waste, right? So this is not a thing. This is not a thing. Can't be a thing. Can't be a thing. And I think just in general, do we need sort of like more generic cards? Some wombo combo-y stuff? Some wombo combo stuff? We haven't really started tapping into like cards working with other cards for like card types and stuff like that. I feel like there's a lot of potential mechanics we just haven't done yet. And I feel like when I look at these pages, I feel like when I look at these, I feel like I get overwhelmed. I feel like I get overwhelmed. I need to be a little more systematic here. So maybe we'll finish off these 16 in the last 4 cards, because we want 20 of each at the very least. The last 4 cards for each type will have something specific again, right? Because I kind of like this line right here, where I just was like, here's the standardy cards, right? There'll be a set of these in every single card type. This is a little bit easier to wrap my head around. And this is just like we go wild, right? We just sort of go crazy. But logic, let's say what's we'll just put like a draw. Right, draw 2. Super standardy, nothing fancy. Better draw 2 or plus 3 power, because these cards cost the same. Maybe we make it 6. 2 VP. Let's do that. Let's do that for now. Creativity. No idea. I also will say, when it came to these cards felt way more nice to finish. To finish these cards and be like, oh man, like I designed a card around the card title. Felt very good to sort of like make these cards and like, oh, they kind of make sense for what is going on here. That's pretty cool. But these cards are like not going to be, I don't know. We just got to playtest. We just got to playtest. But going through the process of like making the theme and then naming the cards preemptively and then designing the card around the card name felt really good to get to the end of it and finish it. To finish the card individually. Over here, we just try to bust out cards without the title on purpose, just to see what that process felt like. Didn't feel quite as satisfying at the end of it. Felt not as cool. But I don't know. We got some okay stuff in here, right? This one, I think this one's cool card. Creativity. I don't know. Dreams, drawing, art appreciation, singing. I think some of the card titles a little. I guess that all makes sense. We'll have to play test and see what it feels like. When we get to the point where it's time to play test, we'll also have to make questions. Make a play test questionnaire, right? Make a play test questionnaire. Name a card. Check the top 5 cards of your deck. If the card name is there, draw it. the rest of the cards back in any order. What happens if we name like a starter card? We draw all of them? Maybe we make it we draw all of them because there's no limit here. Draw all cards. With that card name. Dreams. Nightmares. Can there be some sort of wombo combo here? Can there be some? Well, I think for sure Nightmares and Dreams needs to be a wombo combo card, right? Dreams is cheap. Maybe Nightmares will be expensive. My initial thought was like it's the opposite, where it's like you name the top 5 cards of your deck and then discard them, and you get to see. Sort of either way, whichever one you play sort of sets you up for the other one potentially. No say. No say. We'll start with that now. Start with that now. Of your deck, card all cards. Back in any order. Maybe not quite the wombo combo that it could be. Maybe not quite the wombo combo that it could be. Could be more. We'll sit on it. We'll sit on it just a little bit, right? Sit on it just a little bit. Here we'll do our standard stuff here. Straight across. Super flat. Standardy stuff. I mean, do the creative cards have to be more creative? I feel like these feeling cards are fairly creative, fairly interesting. Dance. I'm gonna put dance down. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure how much we build around these card names here. But let's get dance. Maybe it's all over the place. All interesting. So one card from your card pile. Top of your deck. Control P. I have a habit of capitalizing letters and words in the middle of the sentence, and I don't know why. Of your... Oops. On bottom of your deck? Those need more keywords here. We're pretty lacking on the keywords. That could also help with game design and stuff like that, right? Want this to be stronger, more middle of the road. We want some more keywords, some more mechanics, but simple mechanics, some simpler mechanics, right? Not like a big scope mechanic like the emotion setup or the follower track and things like that, right? We have propaganda at one point in time, a card name. Propaganda logic, propaganda creativity. What is propaganda? What if there is a propaganda card in each of the card types, and hence a wombo combo? Thanks for propaganda. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. All right. How dare you judge me? We need propaganda. And then the feelings. So, propaganda in each of the card types, and there'll be some sort of wombo combo-y card. Cool. Perfect. What does it do? We don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. What are some other creative things, some creativity things? I don't know. I don't know, like, if we look at the drawing and do we design a card around drawing? Like, how do we even go about that? We're getting very abstract here, I feel like. Very abstract here. I mean, we'll keep in line, too. We'll put propaganda in here so it's easy to find. But I think this is the hardest part, right? We're at the hardest part here. Sort of the grind. This is the grind of it all. Let's try not to worry about the card names here, right? That we have. Stop worrying. Don't worry, guys. Don't you all worry. Let's get another big card here. Do we want this on a big card? I don't know. I don't know if we want that on a big card here. I think for sure we're lacking mechanics in the... don't have a whole lot of destroy, don't have a whole lot of retain. I'm trying to think of a retain card here. I'm trying to think of a retain card. We're thinking. We're thinking. What if it's just this? What if it's just... What if it's just retain? Is this what it costs? This is how much it costs, right? You can retain it and then get a 6-card hand the next turn, sort of thing. Sort of idea, right? I think it's good enough. I think it's good enough for now. In the same sense, then we can just like do like a generic cross of just like all these cards have retain, and they sort of just do a thing. Yeah, I think we'll just have to. I think we'll have a better time coming up with new keywords for card design once we do a little bit of play testing. That's my guess. That's my take. We need to think about it. We need to think about weird card mechanics potentially, right? Ooh, we got an idea here. Got an idea here. You untap one emotion, and then there can be an effect for each one that they choose. So oops, if anger, disgust, for one card and discard. Discard or lineup. What if we just made destroy a keyword? And then in the keywords for destroy, remove a card from the game. Card of the player's choosing. Of a player's choosing is player's choosing. From their discard pile and lineup. Is removed from the game. Players can mix and match. Mix and match from where? But total cannot exceed that message. Oh, no, it did not. Cannot exceed the destroy value. There we go. Bam. Keyword. Not that it's new, but should hopefully make writing these cards easier. So now destroy one. We just write that out. Destroy one. Got it. Good. Beautiful. Perfect. If sad, it does a thing. What if it's sad? Let me just make it draw one. I wanted to separate fear, disgust, or fear, surprise, and anger, disgust. They're the only two that have a slash in them, so I don't want them right next to each other. I might make the card easier to read. Play the bottom card of your deck. Sort of a super flexible card, and it interacts with the emotion cards. I like it. I like it. I like it. I think we made a card. I think we made a keeper. I think we make it cost 6, right? Then I think it's VP1. I think that's what it is. And sort of, it's flexible and a tap of emotion. +2 for draw 1 for 6 doesn't feel good, but it gives you that versatility. It's sort of that draw value sort of goes up over time. The untap is quite good as well, though, right? The initial idea was just like drawing. You can draw your feelings, right? Draw your feelings, draw your emotions. There we go. But also, I like this right here. Play the bottom card of your deck. I think there's some play with that there. Playing with that. Let's make another card that puts cards on the bottom of your deck. Top or bottom. This will do something like that. We'll do something like that, I guess. Nice bit of acceleration. The option for synergy. You get the choice of it all. So I guess technically we can milk it and just like separate this and make two cards, one that does top, one that does bottom. I think we'll leave it as is. We can do of the main deck and put it on the bottom of your deck. Essentially free card. With the bottom of the main deck synergy. Maybe should you may put it on the bottom of your deck? Because maybe you gain it, put it in your discard pile for something else. Give it the flexibility. We'll give it the flexibility. We'll give it the flexibility. You may put it on the bottom of your deck. Right? All right. We'll make another retain card. Get some more retain. Let's get some more retain in here. But I think we'll need to do it row by row, like stacks of 4 for the time being. Like, here's 4 retain cards in each of the card types, right? Here's 4 cards that interact with the bottom or the top of your deck, things like that. Just to keep it organized, I think. Maybe I'll organize it off of video here. I'll organize it off video, I think. Let's try and get these last 4 cards then, and then finish propaganda, and we'll just call it. We'll call it a vid. It's actually funny enough. My eyes hurt staring at this freaking white screen. Can I make this dark? Please help. If you know if I can make this dark, let me know in the comments. I think I've looked, and I don't know how. I don't know how. But please help. Please help. Let's make another retain card. This card gives retain to some other card? Yeah. Hoping the retain will help with the wombo combos, right? I think that's the main idea. The retain will help with wombo combos, or potentially help with having the occasional power spike of a turn, right? Maybe we shouldn't worry about if I'm going to be rearranging how these cards look for the sake of uh, helping me see what we got. Maybe we don't need to worry about putting in the spaces to make them all line up. It's not going to matter. Won't matter in a little bit, right? You retain a card in hand. I like it. I like it. Simple, clean. Sets up a wombo combo, or helps you set up a wombo combo. Here, can we do another retain? Is there anything we can do with retain? The thing about retain is that, for the most part, you can just sort of float a card infinitely in your hand. All right, what if we did something like this? It just says retain. It synergizes with cycle. Is this a good card? I think there's an idea here to have a card that only retains. For the most part, but it's synergized with something. I don't know. I'm not sure. Because what if we just got rid of this text and made it a 1-for-1? I don't know. The 1-for-1s though, because even if it doesn't have this text, it's still a card type, right? And it's still an extra card in hand, so it'll naturally still synergize with cycle and potentially synergize with anything that's related to card type, right? I don't know. We'll leave it up because I think there's an idea to be had here with retain, as far as having like some sort of crappy card that you float constantly in your hand, just to trigger the occasional extra effect somewhere else. But then triggering that effect gets this retain card out of your hand, is what I want specifically. Said like Have 8 plus cards in your hand. Start of your turn. Destroy. We get all bolted. Retain synergy? Retains with itself? Or synergizes with itself? Or synergizes with other retain cards? Also, too, I want to note that this is not a you may effect. If it happens, it happens, and you take what's in the lineup potentially. I think not too bad. I think there's still I think there's an idea to be had here. Maybe we make it cost 3. Slow. It's a slow card. It's a slow card. Maybe we have it cost 0 VP. No, we'll leave it with a VP. We'll leave it with a VP so it synergizes with the other cards that work with VP, right? Hmm. 2 more random cards. 2 more random cards here. I think really we need some more expensive cards just in general, right? We have a lot of 3s and 4s. Let's try and do a 5 and a 6 again. I'll do a 5 and a 6 here. We can do heck. Six and a 5. 6 and a 5. I mean, this is a crazy good card. Sorry, I got a text. Got a text. I think it cost 8. This is a solid card. And 3 VPs. Oh. How about this? How about this? Huge power spike potential, crappy VP value. Do that for now. Propaganda. We got 3 propaganda cards at the moment. We want to sort of like wombo combo together. Sort of wombo combo together. And I guess the question I should ask myself is, do we want wombo combos to sort of suck on their own? Should they sort of suck on their own? Right, because what if this one said, go to logic. Let's go to logic. And this one just says +1 draw. Maybe it says draw 1 per propaganda card played this turn. And so you need to, so if you play this card first or play it by itself, it's just draw 1. And then we'll make the cost 4. EP1. Let's think here. Let's say it's this one. I was thinking this one might be just +1 understanding per propaganda card played. You play this one first, it's +1. Then you play the other one, it's +2 draw cards. What's the third effect? But what's the third effect? What if this is, it's just, well, obviously it's all subject to change, right? Played this turn. Right, so again, not really worth it all on its own. Subpar by a little bit by itself. But this is together, it's +2 draw 2. Right? Or it is draw 1 +4. So just having 2 of them is actually really, really good, because over here we have draw 2 +2 as an 8 cost card. And it can get even better. It can get even better. And if we have a 4th card type, well, 4 propaganda cards. Yeah. And again, we don't really have too many mechanics when it comes to the card types yet. What if this is just per We'll start with that. We'll start with that for now. Seems good enough. So 2 cards you can sort of recreate. Sort of recreate what they do. Maybe if we do end up getting a 4th card type here. Or maybe there's a follower card that synergizes with propaganda, right? We're a little shy of that 1 hour mark, but I think we'll call it good. We got the skeleton so far of what a main deck can look like. 3 more cards for each of the card types. We'll leave it at that for now. And then we'll need to finish the follower deck. And I got some ideas that I want to try out for the follower deck, sort of inspired by I'm thinking maybe possibly inspired by Paperback, that deck building game. How we might view these as like victory cards to some extent. And how we organize it potentially. And we need some keywords, some self-care. Don't we all? I'm liking Retain, though. Retain might have some potential. Yeah, but we're making progress. We're making progress. And I think we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that, making progress. And that's where we are. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. And I will see you in the future.